house for free, and you're gonna have a market interest rate that's probably in the low fives or maybe even fours if you take the ARM. So there's just a lot that the builder is giving away to try to move this product. I went into the realtor part of it. And then once you go on the contract, everything is in-house. You just pretty much just hands off, and the builder is gonna handle everything, the title, word, the loan, all of that.
Yeah, that'd be worth even getting your real estate license, just
Right.
to buy your own.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just to spend the time and money to do
100%.
that, you might as well just get it.
100%.
Well, a lot of investors over the years got a license just to save money on the commission to buy
Correct,
investment
correct.
property.
Yeah, I mean, 5%, 3.5 down. I mean, you're making money and cover closing costs. New build,
Yeah, 5%.
lower,
I mean,
lower
even-
interest rate. I mean, that's like a
And I'm gonna go into the investment rates, right? So a lot of you in this room are not going to be able to run it as primary, because you probably already got a primary address. So we're talking about conventional, but I mean, even with conventional on a, let's see. So conventional on a fixed investment, you're going to be kind of getting pretty much close to market on investment. Where you'll win at with conventional is doing the ARM, but they will pay the closing costs for you too, though. So the rates on investment, they're pretty close to market, but they will be giving you the closing costs, so you won't be coming out of pocket any closing costs. And also, there's also room for negotiation too. So just because they advertise a certain price, that don't mean they might take something else less.
So you're talking about investment for houses, not duplexes or quadplexes.
The builders don't build multifamily. They only build single family. So that's going to be townhomes. That's going to be standalone single family homes. So they only build single family.
They've been pushing the new like Gen X
Next
project
gen.
or something, right? That has like a,
Well, the next gen is still a single family home though. It just has like a in-law suite. So there's a door and then there's a garage for the in-law. But it's still a single family. Yeah.
is that a good opportunity for investment? Because maybe you can rent it to two
That
families.
I would say it would be. So out in Waimama where I predominantly my office is, I think we were selling those for like $550. It's like a 3,800 square foot house. So you could in essence live in one side and rent the other side to somebody else and offset.
A question, are they separate electrical meters and water meters?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So I went over the realtor portion. Typically, realtors get 3%, but like I told you, anytime they want to boost and get the product moving, they up the commission. So we discussed that portion. So there's multiple loan types, right? First time home buyers going at FHA, that's a primary loan. VA, that's another primary loan. That's for veterans. If you got a VA loan, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You're going to get a free house. VA is always a free house, period. No matter what, it's free. It's 0% down. They're going to pay you all your closing costs. If you got a realtor license and you buy VA, you're going to get cash back at closing. USDA is another primary loan. Down payment assistance is another primary loan. Now, this is what I would say for investors. DSCR. DSCR is a no-doc loan, meaning as long as the property can rent to cover the mortgage, it's based upon the rent. It's not based upon the actual value. As long as the property can rent to cover the mortgage, it's a no doc loan. You put 20 to 25% down, they approve it. So I have a lot of investors buy with that, and I'm gonna pull this one up. DSCR, and this is pretty good for a no doc loan. It's a 7.125 with the builder contributing $24,000 to close the cost. I'm gonna pull these up later at the end, but
Does your, DSCR income, can they base that off of Section 8 income, or they stand?
they're gonna base it off of the normal market.
Long term.
Yep, they're not gonna base it off Section 8.
Yeah, that's Lennar specifically.
That's usually most DSCR lenders, but
I do know one guy who does
But
it
that's
off
what I
short-term rental.
That's what I was gonna say though. I mean, you could go outside lender and buy these too. You don't have to. I mean, of course, the company wants you to use Lennar's lender.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could submit an offer where you use your lender and maybe I could get them to give you some closing costs.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do a short-term rental in a subdivision, most likely. But
Yeah,
but
so
for
you
Section
could
8,
want you.
you could, because then they were just, it's just so that you can put less down.
Yeah. They're gonna typically with DSCR, they're gonna go off of whatever market rent is. They're not gonna equate Section 8. Section 8 rent is usually way more than market rent. And I'm gonna show you guys some examples. So another thing about new construction is these are all the communities that we have and growing. So there is a robust amount of inventory everywhere. The estimates that I did are West River Townhomes, which are right by Armature Works. They're a little pricey. They're about $600,000, but what people are doing, they're 3 levels. They're taking them and turning them into like room and house situation.
So your company's building townhouses near there?
Yeah, they already started. So the land is getting very scarce when you get closer to Tampa. So they're not building single family mostly. What they're doing is building townhome communities because we all think they're taking the same amount of land and just maximizing what the return they can get. So they're building townhomes. Enter Tampa, the closer you get to Tampa, most builders are building townhomes. If you want single family homes, most of the builders are building those within like 30 minutes of Tampa.
Density.
Yep. What do you say, Daisy?
Density.
Oh, density, yeah.
Everybody's building for density.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so this is one that I did estimates on. They actually just dropped the price on this thing. It was at $612 when I did these estimates, but yeah, this I wouldn't rent this to Section 8. I would turn this into a rental home situation. There's 3 floors on this, so I would rent this to multiple people, and it's right by Armature Works.
Is there like a room on every floor? Or
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And it's a 3-3, so there's like a bathroom.
Downstairs, there's a bedroom and a bathroom. The middle floor on it, there's the kitchen. I want to say there's a bedroom on the middle floor. Then upstairs, there's
So you rent by the room with a common sharing area. Is that what you're saying?
yes,
Kind of like a dorm.
The downstairs where you come in, it has its own bedroom and bathroom. You go upstairs, you got the kitchen area. You got the kitchen, you got the living room, and then you go up the other level, you got the other 2 bedrooms, and there's a balcony. So, I mean, that's what people have been doing. They've been buying those and turning them into.
So each bedroom would have their own bathroom, and there's a half bath in there too?
Correct.
Is a half bath in like the kitchen area?
The half bathroom is like the kitchen area.
That would be a good idea for right by the room.
Is there any restrictions?
Well, the restriction is always on a new construction community. So this is another thing for you guys. Builders, when they build new construction communities, they do not put restrictions. And the reason being, the investor is always they fail safe. So if they mess up in the community, they're gonna offload it. So the only rental restriction that typically most new construction communities have is a 1-year lease term.
Well, that's not HOA, is it?
That's the HOA.
Oh, the HOA for that?
It's the HOA, yo.
And how many parking space per townhouse there are there?
It's probably gonna be one. Hold on one second.
2-car garage.
It's probably gonna be. Then they have some guest parking on the grounds, but each townhouse is gonna have their own driveway with garage.
So you got a garage space and you got maybe, but that's about all you have then.
Your space is gonna be garage. If you have guests, then they're gonna have to park. They got a few guest parking spots.
Why is it HOA? It's inside the city of Tampa. Why are they doing HOA?
They all got HOA
Yeah.
where
I guess you have to, when you have more than 3 units or something like that, you have to have an HOA.
So
When we were building our triplex, I think if they told us if we had one more, we had to get an HOA.
in the city of Tampa?
covenant in St. Pete.
Right.
really.
Because in Philadelphia, they have a lot of things you call townhouses, and nothing's HOA. Every townhouse is separate ownership, and there's no rules.
Would you say most of the new builds have CDDs as well?
I would say most of them have CDD and HOA. Yep.
And those, what determines them to raise, because I pay CDDs, but my HOA is only like $200 a year, right? But my CDDs are like $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
So like, but it kind of fluctuates, so like, how do they determine the fluctuation of that? Because I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't CDDs paying for a portion of what the buyers use, or the builders use to build the property?
Yep.
Right, so it's almost like a payback?
They charge it back to the residents. It's a charge back for the builder making the infrastructure, the roads, the lights, whatever they needed to do to construct the community. It's a charge back to the residents through the taxes.
And then, but I would think that would end eventually.
Usually 30 years.
30 years, okay.
I tell people 30 years, sometimes it's 25, but typically 30.
Okay, because I mean, my house is built in 2005, so like
yours,
2035.
yours should be in the coming, you know.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought it was going to continue, but I first thought it was.
No,
paid off.
they're all supposed to have an ending period.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So typically the people who first buy in the community, they're gonna have to eat the CDD.
Yeah.
And the question he asked was, does CDD change? Possibly it can. My CDD, I've owned my house 2 years. I think my CDD went up like $20,
Yeah.
but it's variable.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't go up. When the developer owns the community before the developer is out. Now, when the residents take over, that's when you see more changes. When the developer is still in the community, typically the CDD and HOA stays the same until they're out of there. So once it gets about 80% occupied, now the HOA will be controlled by the residents. That's how all the communities work. So what I would say is, if you're gonna buy to rent something in a community, you need to make sure that it's not predominantly controlled by the residents. You wanna buy in communities that's still building. Because if you buy in a community that's not still building, you could possibly buy a home that has restrictions on it. Like, for example,
So you be grandfathered in, you're saying?
that's where I was about to go.
Okay.
So they just voted in my community. There's a rental cap now. So it's like only like, I want to say they limited it to about, I'm in a 1,200 resident community and they limited rentals to like 100 homes. So that doesn't affect me because I'm grandfathered in.
Because that's the same with mine. I have to apply and be on a wait list to actually rent my home.
Yeah, I don't have to do that because I bought before they made that rule. So
So when you transfer title, then you have to abide by the new rules.
if you transfer it and sell it to somebody else, they will have to abide by the new rules.
Now, you say your grandfather in, but if the other 12, if there's 1,200 units and they all basically vote against rentals, then you have to abide by it, right?
No, it's Florida law. If you're grandfathered in, the only restriction that they can put on you is the HOA has to review the tenant. They can make you do an application that the HOA has to review, and they also can make you pay a deposit. They can't stop you from renting it, but they will have to review they'll make you do an application fee for your applicant, and they can make you pay a deposit. That's what my community
Well,
did.
that could be a nightmare, because if they don't want you to have that, they'll say, we want 5 times income, we want perfect credit, we want somebody had a job for 20,000 years.
It could, but they have to. So there's laws with it where they have to have just application qualifications. They can't make it so obscene that nobody can qualify.
Well, you can still make it 4 times income if it's really hard to rent it. You can require people that never broke any law.
But when you grandfathered in though, it's very hard for them to make it where you can't rent your property. I just went through this in my community because I had an investor. She's very well off. She probably has about 15 homes in the community, and they tried to stop her from renting, but she bought before they did all these guidelines, so they couldn't. Like they have 3 times the rent in my community now. They trying to impose. She didn't have to go by that. I don't have to go by it because I'm grandfathered in.
Well, you might be right. My experience with HOAs is that the people run it. If they don't want to do something, they'll make it hard, and
They will.
Then you
They
have
will.
to sue them. They have a lawyer on retainer for $300-400 a month that does not want to lose. That's an hour. It doesn't want to lose because they want the business, and they'll spend $50,000 lawsuit against you, and you'll have to spend a lot of money. And if you lose, you lose. If you win, they don't pay your attorney fees.
That could happen.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
That could happen. But the best way to protect yourself up front is, and this is how we got around it. The HOA outlined exactly what she could do and what could not do on the grandfather clause before she even closed. We got it all in writing. Like, okay, what happens when the HOA transfers to the residents and they make these ordinances about rentals? We got it in writing up front what they can and cannot do. So she was good. You just, before you close on it, you gotta get in touch with the HOA and get in writing what can they do and what can they not do once the HOA transfers to the residents.
Okay.
That's the whole key to it, is to get HOA to tell you about that before you even buy it.
So make sure they put it in writing. They're not gonna, if they qualify somebody, it's not gonna be 3 times income, maybe twice income, and it wouldn't be more than the 600 credit score, whatever. So they can't change that yet. So you gotta hire a lawyer to make sure everything's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where would you find that information? Like, I wanted to know when my CDU's up. Would that be like on the HOA?
Well, if you buying it with me, I'm gonna get it for you.
Yeah.
But if you want to find it out,
And it should be in your mortgage documents.
Yeah.
In your escrow
Yeah.
portion.
master disclosure.
So I'm a sub-chief operator, so I have to, I don't know, I don't have a mortgage.
Oh, you will have to reach out to the subdivision.
Yeah.
You will have to reach out to the
Yeah, I'll just do
subdivision.
that. I just wanna know what it's, cause I'm keeping it as a rental for a long time, so. That'd be like $500 off.
Sometimes when this HOA is recorded in the original deeds, they have a lot of paperwork if you look it up. Everything's recorded, I'm pretty sure.
It is.
So from
Yeah.
the beginning, so you can, go back whenever it was built and see.
But if you contact the subdivision and get a contact for whoever, wherever the subdivision, they'll send it right to you.
Yeah.
They'll email it right to you.
Okay.
But back to kind of what I was saying, you just got a lot of robust areas that you can purchase in. There's quite a few people that I deal with consistently that are investors, and what they do is this. So before I bought my home, I live in Lithia, which is Fish Hawk School District. I bought with a builder. You guys familiar with West Bay? I used to work for Casa Fresca, which is their spec build, similar to Lennar. So I was weighing buying there versus Wesley Chapel. And the reason why I bought there is every time I buy a house, I always go to the Section 8 website. So I have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, minus $300 for utilities. I'm gonna just say $300. Section 8 will pay me $4,300 for my house. My mortgage is $2,900. So that's my exit strategy. Like, I'm probably gonna move out my house at the end of the year because I'm just kind of living in a house. It's just use of one room, and I can sleep on a mattress. I don't care about none of that.
You're not married, right?
No.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah. Maybe one day if I'm lucky. But anyway, this is how I buy my homes. Before I even buy, if I'm turning it into a rental and I just want one tenant, this is my Bible on
So
it.
you could do that every year then, basically.
Yeah.
So you go to Tampa Housing Authority, how'd you go to the zip code?
So I'll send you guys over this link. But this is the map for Hillsborough. Each county has a different mapping tool, but I have one that will do the entire country that I can send you guys.
All you gotta do is Google Tampa Housing, Hillsborough County.
Payment standards.
Right, or rent standards.
Mhm.
And it will come up a map like that with the zip codes. I do
Yeah.
that all the time.
And that's just based off Section 8, or is this based off something else?
This Section 8.
This Section 8, okay.
So how I do my Section 8, so everybody's scared of Section 8. Oh no, they're gonna tell you place up. Look, man, I screen them. I get a deposit from them. I have a very stern conversation with them. Like, look, this is what I expect. I personally try to pick people that pay very little of their rent. I just rented one for a buddy of mine. We rented it to a person who was making $80,000 a year. She a correctional officer. We trying to prep her to buy it once her lease is up. So I want you guys to get it out of your mind that it's just the low of the low people. It's people typically it's women. It's women that have kids that their father's not in their life and they're getting government assistance. Some of them have very good jobs. Some of them don't have so good jobs. I typically try to pick the tenants that pay very little of their rent. So right now, I just got paid on the 1st. I got 2 duplexes. They in a not so desirable neighborhood,
Sure.
but they're cash flowing very nice. Section 8 sent me my rent directly to my bank account. And then one of my tenants who pays $280 of her rent told me she could only pay $240 and she'll give me the rest later. I'm okay with that. You see what I mean? So
That makes sense, because you know you're more guaranteed the money.
Oh, of course.
But I think the people that way too, they don't wanna lose that. It's like
No,
either.
that's another thing. I'm taking my Lennar badge off now. I'm gonna take this off. So yeah, like, the people don't want to lose the Section 8 because that's how they live. So you have people like, well, what if they destroy your property? If they destroy your property and you document it, they're going to lose their Section 8. They're going to be homeless.
Mhm.
So, and me working for Invitation Homes, the data across the board, whether it was Section 8 or people not, the same, people were getting evicted universally across the board. Like, there's no, matter of fact, this is less risk. This is less risk than renting to a traditional renter.
Is the qualification process as the investor pretty difficult? Do they screen you a lot?
No, they're on a shortage of homes for people.
Really?
So once you you pretty much just email housing authority and say, hey, I have a home that I wanna put on the Section 8 program. They'll send you like an email on how like to register or whatever. It's not a hard process.
Okay.
Once you do that,
I had to give my life away to be a vendor for them.
oh really? Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's not like that with landlords. It's not like that.
But I will agree with you. We do a lot of work inside Section 8 homes that through Tampa Authority, and they're usually pretty clean and well maintained.
well, yeah, you
and
got
they're strict with their kids because they don't want to lose their benefit.
They don't want to lose their benefit, and you as a landlord, you got to keep it up to standard. And I mean, if you know you're a decent landlord, you're gonna do that anyway.
And I've had a lot of them tell me that they keep their house better than what the landlord provides them
Yeah.
as a Section 8 resident.
So the average person stays in a home. We did the data anywhere from 7 to 10 years. So when you go buy your primary home, the average person staying in there 7 to 10 years. So me, anytime I buy a house, I'm gonna always think, what's my exit strategy? I mean, that's the same with investing. Like, what's the exit strategy? So potentially with new construction, if you buy it as a primary and you stay in it for 2 years, you can sell it with no capital gains if you want to sell it, or you can rent it to Section 8 and have them pay for it.
Mhm.
And you're getting into it with, you're getting into it with minimal money most of the time. This is the website too, that if you do get a Section 8 property, affordablehousing.com, this is the website where you listed at. The tenants are gonna reach out to you. They're gonna call your phone. They're gonna email you about getting into it.
You say there's a shortage right now for Section 8
Oh,
homes?
it's always a shortage. It's always a shortage for Section 8 housing.
Because I heard a lot of landlords are converting to Section 8 because it's the high vacancy rates right now, so they're doing Section 8 big time now.
There's always a shortage for Section 8. You got more poor people than there's people with money. There's always a shortage.
Well, there's always more poor people, but it doesn't mean there's more poor people on the list of Section 8. It's still the same numbers. They're not increasing it right now, the numbers, I don't think.
So you're saying it's in terms of vouchers,
Yeah, I'm saying that, I heard from Section 8, I don't know, maybe it was back channels or something. I've been hearing some other things.
Oh, you got a lot of people trying to get on Section 8. But however, there's a lot of people with vouchers that they can't find a house. You're gonna always be able to have a tenant because there's gonna always be, it's abundance of people looking for a house.
There's more vouchers out there than there's houses available.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So
And so when you go on those zip codes and they tell you that's what you're getting, is that always what you're getting?
what?
Like when you look at those zip codes and you look at how much you can get,
So
can that fluctuate, or is that like Or is that like you're getting?
So
guaranteed?
they bake in a certain amount for utilities. So that's why I said when you saw that,
They cover utilities too, or?
No.
they give you.
You subtract it from that number.
Yep. So 4620 is what I will get if I included utilities.
Okay.
Without utilities, they may give me 4300.
Okay. Gotcha. And you don't do utilities, right?
No.
I mean, the resident, the Section 8 has to have some skin in the game, right? Like you were saying earlier that you prefer somebody that doesn't pay hardly anything at all, but don't you think you want to have some kind of monetary?
It just depends on where it's at. I mean, like, for example, the 2 duplexes that I got in 33612, they are 2 ones. Each unit is about 800 square feet. I got 4 units. I'm getting $1,550 per unit. And my mortgage on them is like $900. So in that area, I'd rather just get my money straight from. I bought them to rent them, and I keep them up, but I'd rather just get my money directly from the government on those.
Yeah.
I found with Section 8, if you get somebody that doesn't have any income and Section 8 pays the rent, you have less problems. When they have a job on the side or SSI or whatever, there's a problem getting the difference, So it's always better. I told my Section 8 tenants, I said, you need to quit your job so I can get my money.
Because
and they don't want to do it. And you need to stop your SSI. You're only 62 years old. You get more money at 70.
He's right.
And you are, you want to pay anything, but they want their money. They want to think. They don't care they're losing. And so you can't talk to them.
Yeah, I have one of my tenants.
Waiting.
They went out there. They got a job, and they wanted to start working more. Guess what Section 8 did? Increase their portion.
Yeah, 30%.
Yeah, you might as well don't even work.
Yeah. And they take the food stamps too, and everything else, but they have to pay you more money. And they don't like paying more money. Just because they make more money doesn't mean you should get the money.
System,
it keep, man, I mean, it keeps you.
Well, we take advantage of it, but, I'm just saying.
I mean, you take advantage of anything. If you have a convenience store, you get, food stamps. So everybody does it, but the point is that it's probably get somebody that doesn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
I think I had less problems that way.
I mean, look, we provide a steady, safe, clean, when we give it to them, place for them to live.
Yeah.
We're providing the housing. We not taking advantage of them. They gotta live somewhere.
For sure.
So why not live in a new construction house? I mean, I got Section 8 people in my community right now, and it's $1 million homes in the community.
They prefer to live in new construction. They'll move out East Tampa and move to Apollo Beach or whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm in Lakeview.
Because if they don't pay any rent, and the rent Section 8 pay $4,500, but if they get 33612, they might just pay $2,000.
Yep.
So, and it's a house that's
And
40 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so if they just move 12 miles away, they get a place that's
They going
really
into
nice.
the best schools. They
Yes.
going to Fish Hawk School District.
Yeah.
It's just
You're talking about a whole different life rehaul.
Yeah, there's just a problem.
Yeah.
There's just a problem to go to real nice neighborhoods to get your drugs. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
And a high chance that when you're driving from the good neighborhoods to the bad neighborhood to get your drugs, you're going to get
Scott, we
stopped.
can always count on you to have some little.
And when you get stopped and arrested, you lose your Section 8.
so-
I always recommend to live in the 33612. You'll keep your Section 8 because you won't get arrested when you look for your drugs.
There you go. So look, I can send this to you guys too. This is a list of all the properties Lennar has in every community, and there's an assortment of them everywhere.
So the strategy is to find that property, see the zip code is in, go to the zip code map and see what they're paying out and see if there's a cash flow difference there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very-
The strategy is
very
what people
good.
do. I've done that before. I check Section 8, what they're going to pay.
Next year, let's say
I look at that.
get a house for free and cash flow.
Yeah, ain't no money better than the government. And let me see.
But Lennar's not gonna be doing duplexes then, huh?
No.
Do we have other new construction doing duplexes around here, or quadplexes?
This is what you want to see in your bank account every month. I get 2 deposits like that from 2 different duplexes. This is what you want to see. Okay? So you want as many of them coming in your bank account as you can. That's the end goal. Okay? Now, last thing I want to show you guys, and then I'll wrap this up, is I kind of want to give you an idea of Lennar's rates. So I want to start with primary on a very cheap home. So this home is $323,000. This is an ARM interest rate. This is in Bellamy, which is Dade City. You got CDD here, 222. You got HOA here, fee here. So you're talking about $280 worth of fees a month. This is on a primary. Payment will be $25.56. But look, the buyer will be coming out of pocket $11,800. Like you can't, you know what I mean? So now I'm gonna go to an investment and kind of show.
Wait, hold on. So
But
what kind of loan you said this was?
this is a primary. This is a primary arm.
Which is an adjustable rate.
Yeah. This is a 5-1.
So because you're buying it for an investment property, you take the arm early on and then you refinance it.
Well, the only way you would get this rate is if you could do a primary.
So you have to live there at least a year before you rent it out.
Yeah. So, hold on.
What if you don't currently have a primary?
If you don't have a primary, you good.
Right.
So
But to Scott's point, like, what if I don't want to live there?
You have to live
The
there by
only
law
way
for
you're
1
gonna
year.
get-
1 year.
You just don't really
the
tell them.
only
No.
the
You
only
don't
way
wanna do
you're
that.
gonna get this deal with this rate is it has to be a primary.
Yes, if you have a primary, you can actually rent out your primary and move to a new primary. But you cannot rent it out, theoretically, you have to live there for a year, and then you can move out and buy a new primary.
So, but let
And
me
you do
get
that
you
every
guys.
Refi, don't you?
No. Once you get a loan, a 30-year loan,
FHA.
FHA, you have to keep it for a year. They don't tell you can't rent it out. They can't tell you to stay there more than 1 year. Now, if you leave there in less than 1 year, but if you don't rent it out, it's a loophole. You just keep it empty for a few months, I believe. You cannot rent it out because it's called mortgage fraud. Okay?
I mean, heck,
And-
they
and-
can say that for
and-
days.
and a lot of people do
No
it.
one checks it.
They used to do that big time 20 years ago, 30 years
Your
ago.
intention is to
Yeah.
be primary, but then
But what I was
Right,
gonna
right.
tell you is this: with FHA, the reason why you would do FHA is if you want to do the minimum out of pocket. However, you're keeping PMI with FHA.
Right.
So if you can go conventional and put 10% down, that's the better way to go because you'll be dropping $142 in mortgage insurance.
Right.
So I'm just kind of using this to kind of show you guys like the bare bones of what can be done. Like you can legitimately, like for example, you don't have a primary, right?
Yeah.
You got one. Is it conventional?
FHA.
Okay, so he got an FHA. This is an FHA. With FHA, in order for him to get another FHA loan, he would have to purchase a home that's 100 miles from his current house, and he would have to have an extenuating circumstance. That meaning, like you having a baby. You having a baby would be an extenuating circumstance. You need a bigger house. And it would have to be 100 miles from your current house. That's the only way you would go FHA.
or you can refi your conventional, right, and then do an FHA, refi his current
He could
primary,
do that.
and then do the
Yeah,
FHA.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So once you get, if you live there, with FHA, you can't move out after 1 year?
You can move out
Yeah,
anytime you want to,
Okay,
as long as the mortgage get paid. But in terms of turning into a rental, I would say you at least want to wait 6 months.
okay.
You at least want to wait. But I've had
There's
people
no
do-
lenders making sure that like.
Right,
not
I'm just
renting
saying,
out.
they say 1 year, but you could probably get away with it, Now, there could be a loophole. He says he lives there by himself in one bedroom out of all of it. You could probably move in there as your primary and rent out the rooms and live in.
Do that?
Yes, I think that's.
Well, I'm
yeah.
gonna go over a couple different scenarios.
That's the best way.
That's legal.
So this was fixed. This is the arm.
You just can't be married.
This is the arm rate for primary, 3.9, fixed for 5 years. 3.9, payment would be $23.90, and the buyer come out of pocket 13 grand. So this is, why people are coming to the builder right now, because they can get into a home with very little out of pocket with rates that are 3% less than market, 2.5%, 3% less. I'm gonna go into you had a question?
Yeah, so this is on a 5-year arm.
Mhm.
As the investor on year 5 though, what do? You
Well,
refinance into a DSCR?
This gonna be primary. I'm gonna show you investment loans now.
And then like in this example, you said this is Dade City, so it's Pasco. Is that Section 8 stipend?
Well, you
close
would
to
on this one.
$23.90?
On this one, you will have to look up what Dade City is paying. So that's a different county.
Right.
You will have to go to their Section 8 and verify what they're willing to pay. It's probably going to be less than Hillsborough though.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm just kind of using this as an example. You're going to always want to put down enough to make sure you cash flow though. Meaning, this is the minimum out of pocket for a primary buyer at a 3.9. They're coming out of pocket 13 grand. So let's just say you wanted to get this lower and you got 10% to put down. Then we're going to do a conventional and drop this PMI. So you'll have to manipulate with your cash to get it the way you need it
So
to
we
be.
have to basically work with you
There you
to
go.
come up to the best strategy.
Well, it's great too, because, you're usually putting some away for maintenance, and on new construction, you got that warranty.
Right.
You're not really need to put, everything's new. I mean, so you don't have to really put some away
These
for-
these are on West River Townhomes. You want to get one?
And how much are they?
Oh, those are 600.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
this is the ones over here by our
Yeah.
shorts.
Yeah,
Yep.
but for Section 8, in that where you live, how much can you get a home from Lennar for a 4-bedroom?
Where I live at,
Yeah, you saying that
the
because
community you will probably want to buy where I live at. I don't know if they have it. They don't have 3354. Hold on.
well,
I'll tell you.
a high rent from Section 8 then.
I'm gonna tell you one right now. Let me see something real quick. Riverview pays decent. Lennar at
You want to see the DJ?
So hold on one second. Let me see. So 33578. So we got a community called Blackstone that's in Riverview. Let me see what that 33578. Let me see what that pay. Okay, so they paying pretty good. We got 3 and 4 bedrooms in there.
So let's figure 4-bedroom, because even if you get a 5, they might not, a lot of people don't have a lot of kids to qualify for.
Well, the builder might not build 5 bedrooms.
We built 4. So this specific community Blackstone, we built
Okay.
4.
So we're at 3,200. So we want to work with you to get that payment down into that 2,300.
We'll have to put down and manipulate the numbers and ask for what we need to ask for to make it work. But
So for a disc loan, you have to put 20% down, say.
I would say if you do an investment loan,
Yeah.
you're gonna always want to come with 20%.
So-
And I'm gonna tell you why. Hold
Okay.
on. So the reason why you want to come with 20% on investment loan is because if you come with anything less than that, your rate is going to be higher.
Okay.
So 20 to 25% on investment loan, you're gonna have a better rate than putting down less. Investment loan, which is, I've marked it on here, but investment loan, you cap at 2% of the purchase price for closing costs. DSCR loan, you can go up to 9% depending on what you put down
On closing cost credits?
on DSCR.
And the builder
Will they actually give you the 9%?
The max most builders give is 6%.
Still good though.
But what you have to weigh, and this is what I'll compare with you, is what I want to show you. Let me show you what I want to show you. Is this. Okay. So. Okay, so this is an ARM investment. This is what I'm going to show you. So this is an ARM investment. All right, so some of these, hold up. Okay, so this is an ARM investment. Okay, so we capped at 2% of purchase price for closing costs. So 2% of 600. The max seller credit that we can give is $20,750, and the interest rate is a 5.9. That's a 7.1 though. So for 7 years, you're gonna have an interest rate of 5.9. On this specific one here, the cash required is gonna be $126,543, which means, based upon this estimate, you only paying $4,000 of closing costs.
And what's the retail price?
This one's $612. These are right by Armature Works.
Yeah, but to come out $126,000, I mean, how long do you recoup your money?
Well, yeah. So, but that just all depends on like what you can rent it for though. That's, it. Also, this may be very attractive to somebody because this is right by Armature Works. So what they're thinking is, once the builder is out of the community, they hold it for a few years. This might go up in value
Like how much do you think you can sell with rent a room for, like on each one? Like, if you can do 2,000 a room, which probably not, that's not the case. Maybe
I'm thinking like 800.
800.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could rent an apartment around there for 2,000.
Yeah, Armature Works.
Well, within a mile from
I'm
there.
thinking
North Hyde
about
Park.
3,000. I'm thinking around 3.
I just shopped about 6 months ago, North Hyde Park, and you can get a 1 bedroom for about 2,000.
Okay.
Now they have a
what's the
lot of
square
Vegas.
foot?
They have
In Hyde Park?
North Hyde Park, yeah, because they built a lot, and there's a high vacancy rates because they're higher Class A properties, and
Like a high rise or?
all of them I checked out was like 3 and 4 story high, and they're all like new or 5 years new, and they had balconies, 9-foot ceilings. They had pools, weight room.
What do you think about that?
But in a year from now, rents are going to go up maybe, or 2 years from now. They just lowered it because vacancies. But
What do you think? What do you think a 1-bedroom near Armature Works would rent for? That's like 800 square feet.
25 around, close to 2,000.
Yeah, it's hot, man.
2,000.
It's
Yeah,
hot.
that's
We
for
got people. I sold one of these for $512, $520 when they first opened this community. And
Yeah,
they turned that place. They rent all 3 rooms for 2,000 and something.
Yeah, so if you were renting each room for $2,000, 3 times that's 6. That's almost $2,000 a month.
And I mean, we were selling these for 5 something when we first opened the community, and we selling them for 6 something. And they still
Yeah, so but if that's the case, then that's what 24,000. That's basically 20% cash on cash return. So in 5 years, you get your money back if that was the case, right?
And you got a prime location property.
Yeah, and new construction, so costs are low for.
So that's what so guys, pretty much with this, you pretty much want to start with, if you're gonna do this, is you wanna start with what are the rents for in that specific spot.
Yeah.
If it's single family, we're gonna try to Section 8 it, because that's where you're gonna get the money directly from the government. This specific property here, because it's prime location, your return won't be best Section 8, it'll be best turning it into
Right.
a rental.
So
But
this one is not
appreciation,
Section 8.
You could Section 8 it,
No,
but
well,
why?
you gotta
That's
zip
not
code.
the best return.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
that zip code is not gonna, I mean,
Yeah.
let me see what that zip code
That
is.
zip
It's
code
not-
is,
yeah.
it's close to 33606.
It's not
but
gonna pay you
it's
that
not
much.
6. It's, I'm trying to remember what that is.
I'll find out right now, Lennar.
It's right next to 33606, but it's not that.
It's 33598.
Okay.
So 33598. Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna get much.
That's like 33612 almost. I mean 33612, yeah, because if you were saying 1550 for 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
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 But we know in that area you can get probably 2,000 or more room, because you 5 minutes from walking to Armature.
For a room?
What do you think?
No, it's not realistic.
Huh?
Less.
What
For
you-
a room.
What do you think for a room?
Around 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Depends on the size, like what you have there. And the location is good, but I'm not sure, I haven't been in that specific community. I think it's still developing
You
there.
should go over there.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I
still
mean,
like under,
I rented my room for $850, and I'm in Riverview, and no one's around, so I'm sure you can get more.
And how those are set up, the person who rents the bottom has a whole bottom but to themselves.
Yeah,
It's like an apartment.
so that would be.
But yeah, guys, so basically not to get caught up on this specific one, you pretty much you're gonna look up what you can rent it for. You're gonna purchase it based upon the location and what you can get in rent. And then the builder has all these incentives and rates that they're gonna throw at you to buy it.
I kind of want you to touch on it if you could. I mean, I know like builders, they look at the long spectrum when they're picking these subdivisions, because they're kind of like building maybe like on the outskirts before the metro kind of bleeds
Yep.
into there. So they kind of base it on, they're building maybe outlets, or they're building.
They're building based upon city and county plans of what's to come.
So you think the appreciation on a new build, a long term, is probably a good play, so as far as like an appreciation.
So just like Wesley Chapel, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to live in Wesley Chapel before it came Wesley Chapel. The builders was out there building because they knew Epperson was coming. They knew, the outlets and all of that stuff. They knew what was coming. Right now, a big place the builders are building at is Zephyr Hills. A lot of the building is going north into Pasco and south into Manatee. I'm in Waimama right now. My community, which is called Westlake, they built that community on the same street as Morgan High School, and it's like one of the most expensive high schools in Hillsborough County. So where the builders start building at, typically it's going to be more to come.
That's why I kind of like it, 'cause you kind of can get in cheap before it turns into the metro.
Correct.
So.
Correct. But in the interim, I want appreciation, but I like to make my money up front. I'm looking at what I can rent it for. I want to know, I'm in a cash flow on I can exit this, or I can have this, and I'm in cash flow on the rent every month. That's why I do Section 8.
Let me ask this question. I was thinking about this early on. How does the build time account for this, and when does your payments kick in?
Typically, when you close on a loan, your payments are going to be due 2 months after you close.
But what if you don't close on the loan until when? Because what happens if you close on the loan, but the house is going to take another 4 months to build?
Our build times are typically 3 to 4 months. Typically, when we advertise something, it's probably anywhere from, I would say, 30 to 60 days within closing time. So if you go on a contract on something, we're going to give you a projected date, and then that's going to be the date that you close. So let's just say we start on July 1st, and it's not due to be built until September. That's the date that we're going to tell you we're going to close on it is September 20th, and you'll close on that date. The date that they give you is the date you're going to close.
Okay, so then you just pend until it's all done.
Then they're
What
going
you
to.
said?
It's pending until it's
They're
all
going to
done.
process the loan. They're going to get the. If you go in house, they're going to process everything. I mean, I've had people who got clear to close within 30 days on something that was closing 2 months out. So they're going to process everything. They're going to get you ready to go, and then you just going to wait until it's done. But the best deals are on what is standing inventory.
Right.
So when it's standing inventory, it is killing us because they paying holding costs. So if you want the best deal, you want to buy stuff that can close within 30 days. Always.
Yeah, which is probably, if you're not gonna live in it, you don't care that it doesn't have the right
Yep.
cabinets, it doesn't have the right pools and stuff, you're gonna be renting it anyways.
Yep.
Is there a way to see how long it's been on the market?
Well,
And there's no restrictions with like Section 8 with any Lennar places? Or-
no.
No.
No, so like I was telling you, what you can't legally deny Section 8, but you can put stuff in place to block Section 8,
Right.
which is through the HOA and the rental guidelines, what he was talking about. So no builder is going to put stipulations to stop investors because investors are the builder's fail-safe. If
Right.
they can't sell it for what they need to, they're going to dump it to investors.
What percent of Lennar's homes are being sold to builders right? I mean, to investors right now in Tampa Bay?
I would probably say it's a pretty small percentage. Most of their business is going to be primary. I would say probably around maybe 10%.
Okay.
I'll probably say about 10%. Most of Lennar's business is going to be first primary homeowners.
Right. Because investors really want their door cheaper than yeah.
Typically, but there's some times where they can get some good deals where it does make sense to buy the new construction.
I mean, although like Guatemala, you're kind of just out there.
So me personally, I wouldn't say Mama because
Yeah.
I don't like, unless you're going to put enough down for it to make sense, I don't like what they pay out there. They don't pay enough.
Right.
But the Riverview area is pretty good.
But I'm saying for like $400K, you can get a huge house compared to
Oh,
like
yeah.
$400K in Pinellas.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I'm selling out there. I've sold a house that was 2,100 square feet for $310.
Crazy.
But you can't rent it that much from Section 8 in that area.
I mean, so let's put.
I'm assuming because you don't like Walmart.
I don't like what they pay out there.
And also, you got to remember too. Sometimes somebody that's in an area that rents are lower, and they want to move to a nicer area, they don't want to because it's 10 miles away from their family and everything. So it all depends, and they don't have a car.
It all
So
depends.
you just can't always think that you can get people away from their main area of
So I live in
they
Lydia.
use for a town.
I'm 15 minutes from that zip code. So for me 15 minutes away, it pays that much more. But the price is more. So
Yeah, it's not that. That's not
I
good
paid
rents. That's not good rents.
for my house. I paid $395, and that's I work for the builder. I sold the same floor plan this a week later for $430. My floor plan. But for 15 minutes down the road, a 4-bedroom is going for $4,600, almost $2,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, Section 8, they gauge it by, they look at the numbers. So if you have a zip code with a lot of apartments and multifamily, it's going to bring down house prices. So they're not going to go by a house, they're going to go by the bedrooms. So they don't say, well, houses are rent this much and apartments this much. They go by the units and they divide it up. So 33612, they don't have a lot of houses compared to apartments. That's why the rents are lower for Section 8 there compared to 33619. There's a lot of houses there. But over the years, they start building a lot of apartments. 3-4 story highs is changing the rent dynamics.
And there's different products. There's core product, which is what's in Waimama. There's elevation product, which is nicer. There's Pinnacle series, which is the companies like luxury. But I mean, for investment terms, we just want the lowest square footage we can get, the most square footage we can get for the lowest price.
Right.
Yeah, most efficient.
Because you're not going to get more money for Section 8 if you have high quality cabinets.
No.
They're not going to pay you more. They pay you by the bedrooms.
No. So, and there's plenty of communities to choose from. If you guys think about doing something like this, just let me know and
Do you have cards? I'll definitely
Yeah,
have to check.
we can go through it together and pick out what zip codes. I have it for Pasco too. I got the Section 8 payment standards for, I can look this up in the whole United States.
I'd definitely like to chat. Like, one of the things that's like kind of been racing on my head here since we started this conversation. My first house here in Tampa was down in Waimama. It was Lennar Home. We paid $152,000 for it in 2008.
So
And right now, I'm looking at houses in that same neighborhood, and they're selling at $275. So that it's only appreciated $123,000 in what 16 years. So with this strategy, do you have to have a different mindset and say, it doesn't matter if it hasn't appraised that high because you've made all this money and paid down the rent over all those years? Because I don't like. I mean, I'd be pissed if I lived in that house for all this time and I only made $100,000 on it.
Yeah.
Because that's what the ARVs are.
Yeah,
It's
I
in that
mean,
neighborhood.
it's based upon, like I was saying, it's all about your goal. So like
Yeah.
that Manhattan, that West River townhouse, it's 600 and something, and you coming out this much out of pocket, but
No, the example that you gave in Fishhawk makes all the sense in the world.
you just gotta kind of find the ones that make the most sense for you. Like that other Riverview zip code that I told you guys about, that's a decent zip code. It paid decent rent. So we just will have to go through it and make sure the numbers make sense for you to buy it. That's all.
Yeah.
The townhouse, right? So let's just say that person rent the place and they had to come out of pocket $200 every month, but the thing turned around and appreciate $200,000 in a year. It's all about what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah. I know. You guys know who David Green is. He likes to buy on appreciation a lot. He said, "Yeah, I actually bought and paid out of pocket because I knew the appreciation here was going to blow up."
You know what I mean? It's all.
So people just kind of do that. Like, and I know a person who owns like a $50 million sheet metal company, and she just needs to park money, and so she just spends in places that she knows will not drop, only going to go up. She just buys it. So it's like everyone has a different exit strategy.
Even like I keep saying that West River, right? Even if you break even where it pays for itself, it's near armature works. So once the builder gets out of there, I don't see it going down. It's in a prime location.
Yeah, it's the location.
Yeah. So 2 to 5 years down the line, you're gonna appreciate on that.
Yeah. So on your point, if you're going to buy something, you want to know if they're actually building something. Because like Wesley Chapel in Waimama, like Ruskin and Waimama, like I feel like it's going to take a while for things to
I do
come
too.
out there.
Well, there's a lot of vacant
Well,
land.
that's my example.
There's a lot of vacant land.
So, like,
Yes.
Riverview's growing up, but I mean, there's still, man, there's not a lot of restaurants. I mean,
What, Riverview?
Yeah, it's blowing up. But
Oh, it's bro.
Now
It's,
it is,
po-
but-
it's 301 right now. You got everything.
Yeah,
but
it's-
it wasn't like that
Right.
before.
yeah.
Well, everything's becoming, everything's getting developed. Why, I heard so much about amateur works. Why is that area so nice now? Why people want to live there? I mean, you can go out, with a car, you go out to eat any place in Tampa.
It's because of the walkability down the river.
Yeah.
Downtown.
I mean, she can attest to
But
that.
how many times you gonna walk down the river? I live near there. How many times you
I mean, it's just, man, look, the reason why people like that area so much is that you don't need a car living there. Like, you have all these places you can walk to, you have all these amenities that you can go to. You got shops, you got restaurants, you got all this stuff.
It's close enough to
It's-
downtown without being in downtown.
Yeah, but I like to drive my car 3 blocks away because it might rain in Tampa and it's hot and I don't want to get
But you're not
sweaty.
25 to 30 years old.
There you
either.
go.
Yeah, you got a point there too. And when you're younger, you can hold your bathroom activities longer. So when you're older, you want to have a car block. You're absolutely right. The younger the crowds can walk. But yeah, I mean, I walked down the river, you know, the walk on the
Yes,
river.
that's my
It's no,
personal
it was nice, but it's nothing to write home to that you want to do all the time. You want to live by there, you know.
You got it.
I mean, I'm just saying, but you know.
Everybody's different, I guess. It
I know.
depends on their lifestyle.
Well, because I live right close to there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so.
But yeah, if you guys want to get into the weeds with this, we can. I'm the sales rep, Lennar. I know you guys, so of course we're gonna be trying to get the deal where the numbers make sense. But yeah, I mean, if you can get into the property with the builder for a little bit down and the numbers work, you know, you're not risking buying the property, renovating the property. You know the property got a warranty. It's like you immediately going to start making a return.
Well, the most cash flow you can make with the short term still, but it depends on the community if you can do that or not.
Correct.
Most of the time you can't do short term enough.
Yeah, you
If
can't.
there's no HOA, you can't.
Yeah, so there's no choice.
Well, most of the
It has to be
builder,
desirable.
all the builder communities are going to have a HOA. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Now, some of them don't have CDD, but the HOA, when the builder typically opens the community, the only thing that they put is a 1-year lease minimum. That's it. Now, who monitors that? I mean, I usually tell people if your neighbor ain't calling on you, then you'll be all right. They're third-party HOAs. They're not like on the grounds. They're third-party. So,
So after a year, you can do whatever? If it's just for a year?
so the minimum lease term is a year.
Oh,
Meaning,
okay.
yeah, that's the minimum lease term.
Okay.
I can probably get deeper into this, but I'll mention I've been learning a lot about sober living. You ever heard about
What
that?
is it?
Sober living,
Can
which
you
is
do-
it's a protected class, so they can't normally, you know, just like Section 8 or something, they can't get on you. But the average per bed in sober living is like 1,500. You can put 2 per room. You can put 3 per master.
Yeah.
So like you could, like basically on like a 5-bed.
It's like is it like assisted living?
Basically, it's these people who go into an inpatient rehab and they get out and they need housing and they basically just have to get drug tested every week and they're not like on a lease that you can kick out anytime. They don't want to lose it.
But it's a state funded
It's state funded.
and they pay.
It's all paid.
And you can put 2 in the bedroom.
So yeah, and you can do 3 in the master. So I was doing the math like on it. It's like okay, like 5-bedroom, I can make like $15K gross on it. And the thing is that fortunately there's a lot of drug addicts and there's not enough housing for these guys. So I was looking at it to maximize because I was like, do I do Airbnb? And I was like, I'd rather get paid for the government. That's like guaranteed.
Man, the way to go is if you can get the government to pay you good. You doing good.
Yeah. Airbnb is great because I'm like, oh, I can have vacation homes, but it's like such an active job, you know, repairs, the turnover, you know, and then who knows, like, if the laws change, because laws are always changing on that. And, Just the upkeep of everything.
It
You
doesn't,
know,
it
it's an
requires
active
a lot
job, it's
of-
not
yeah.
passive, it's an active job.
Yeah, a lot of work because you have to deal with people, the housekeepers and the
Talking to her
maintenance.
about that, she
Yeah,
knew
not
all
to-
about that.
Yes, I used
Yeah.
to manage a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I've sold Airbnbs, I've looked into them a lot, but, and I wanted to do it for the longest time, but slowly I'm kind of drifting away from that, concept, just because of all the work. If I hired someone to do it, maybe, but,
So if you hire the company, usually they charge 20% of what you make.
yeah.
So it depends, you know, like you can try it on your own, just one property and see. It's not hard to set it up, see how it works, and then, you know, maybe you can scale.
Yeah,
It's less risk.
for sure. I would just have to probably acquire it knowing that I would at least break even on a long-term income.
It depends on the location too. For sure, the location matters.